All right, Dolphin fans, chapter 2. We got Tyreek out of the way. It is what it is. Secondly, today is dubbed Black Monday because it's normally where a lot of coaches lose their jobs after the season's over. This year, people were a little quicker to pull the trigger in season, but, it's already happened. Doug Peterson, some of the other guys. We call it Black Monday for a whole different reason. For a while, because we got a statement sent out from the team's owner steadfastly saying, we're looking forward to moving ahead with this with Grier and McDaniel. And that's, this is where we go, and I have nothing but faith and trust. I do want to say I like kind of how it ended with him saying that he sees a value in stability. And that's true. I mean, that's a valid point. So now let's just get to the meat and potatoes. I'll start with Chris Grier. One, I think we're a little tough on him, Dolphin fans. Is he the best GM ever? No. Is he the worst in the way that we cut him out? No. Everybody talks about his misses and shoulda drafted and coulda drafted and woulda. Dude, every team can say that. How many teams watched, Brock Purdy fall? How many teams watched, Aaron Rodgers at his time fall? Like, there's something to be said for all of those. You can go back and create your narrative because there's always going to be a better pick, it turns out, that got drafted later than your pick. And now you're like, oh my God, how do we miss it? Well, everybody misses, but he's had a lot of hits. A lot of hits that we forget about. I'd go as far as to go back, and Kenyon Drake was a hit. Caleb Balaj was a hit. What they provided to the Dolphins at the time were hits. And there's been misses, and most of those are on the offensive line. We'll get to that in part 3. So Grier, it is what it really is. I think he's been a shrewd GM. I'm okay with that. I'm trying to talk myself into being okay with McDaniel. Here's the deal. I love McDaniel, dude. I loved everything. The quirkiness, what he brings to the table, being different. Like, I love that, man. I love that he's a player's coach in the way that he rallied them around. Now, I hate how he wasn't able to adapt, right? How he was not able to adapt to the NFL figuring your scheme out, which, of course, they were gonna. That's one way of adapting. The other is you weren't able to adapt when the only quarterback that you've designed this offense to work for efficiently was out. He was out for 4 games, and you weren't able to adapt an offensive game plan that didn't require the skill set of Tua, right? The timing, the anticipation, all those things. You can't just run that same offense and expect a backup, be it Skylar Thompson or a Hundley, to just step right in. They don't have timing with these guys. They haven't been throwing to them. And if they had that kind of timing and feel and anticipation, they'd be your starter, not Tua. So I don't like that he wasn't able to adapt that. I don't like that we became one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL. You're an offensive guru specializing in the run game. I don't like that for some reason Raheem Mostert got painted out of the picture. Instead of having, Sonic and Knuckles, we just had Sonic, right? And, I get it, but I don't. Again, I guess you got to mix that up and have variations on what they're capable of doing. And his play calling was not there. I think moving into this year, if he's staying, we need an absolute legit, true offensive coordinator. And the mad genius, the offensive guru, needs to take his hand off of it, focus on being a head coach instead of that, or find your way back to doing that, which you will when you're no longer a head coach. So I hope that happens. All in all, I loved the locker room. Chapter 1 kind of told you what's going on with it now. So the jury's out on how McDaniels is going to handle this. Is he going to pull the locker room back together? Is he going to step up and be the coach, the disciplinarian, or is he going to be the rah-rah, oh, it's all right, whatever? We'll see. Either way, our Black Monday means we're stuck with the same guys. No change is coming. So we got to make do the best with what we got. Hopefully the draft will lead us that way. Chapter 3 is coming.